10 hidden tricks school teachers don't want you to know. Ever get the feeling your teachers are quietly playing little control games with you, like there's more going on than just rules and grades? You're not wrong. School is full of silent systems designed to make you obedient, not efficient. And trick number 10, it's the boldest move of all.
Yay! School clothes!
Number 1, leave the classroom without asking for permission. Most students think they need a teacher's yes to go to the bathroom.
I have to go to the toilet.
Here's why it works. Under laws like the Americans with Disabilities Act or equivalent student protection laws in many countries, schools can't question you about certain medical or psychological issues on the spot. You're just using your rights like a pro. Number 2, speak up early, even if it's just once, and lock in your invisibility cloak for the rest of class. Teachers are wired to remember who participates, especially during the first 10 to 15 minutes of a lesson. If your hand goes up near the start, you're immediately marked as engaged, and that mental note sticks. Most teachers aren't tracking every interaction. It's all about front-loading your effort so it looks like you're contributing consistently, even when you're not. The trick works because human memory doesn't work like a camera. It's biased toward what happens first and what stands out. And in a room full of students, teachers mentally file away the first few voices they hear. So instead of sitting through the whole period worrying about when to jump in, make your move early, then relax. It's a low-effort way to game the participation system and still come out looking like a model student.
Dude, it's the first day of school.
Number 3, rephrase the teacher's words to sound smart, and you'll instantly sound smarter than half the class. This isn't about being a teacher's pet or memorizing facts. It's a psychological trick called reflective listening, and it works incredibly well in classrooms. When you restate a teacher's point using slightly different words, it shows you're processing information deeply, even if you're really just repeating what was just said. The key is subtlety. Don't mimic the sentence exactly. Reword it like you're connecting dots. For example, if a teacher says, "The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell," you might respond, "So basically it's like the battery that fuels the entire cell's activity?" That small shift makes it seem like you're thinking critically and internalizing the concept. Even if you only half understood it, it tricks the brain into learning and makes you look like you're engaging on a higher level. Teachers love this because it feels like real discussion, not just surface participation. You're not just answering, you're building. That's what separates average students from the ones who stand out. And the best part? You don't need to know the material that well. You just need to be good at listening, then flipping the script.
Wow, I'm so smart.
Number 4, ask for an extension the smart way, and you can turn in late work without losing a single point. Most students either panic and rush an assignment or stay silent and take the hit. But here's what they don't realize. Schools usually allow deadline extensions for personal or mental health reasons. The trick is knowing how to ask without oversharing. A simple, respectful message like, "Due to personal circumstances, may I have a short extension on this assignment?" is often all it takes. You don't need to explain anything further. Teachers are trained not to pry. This works because of privacy boundaries. Most educators won't risk pushing a student for personal information, especially if the reason might involve health or emotional well-being. So when you ask calmly and professionally, they're more likely to say yes, especially if you've been relatively consistent in class. It's one of those quiet, adult-sounding moves that shifts how teachers see you, not as a slacker, but as someone managing life responsibly.
I just need another extension.
Number 5, sit in the smart seat zone, where attention meets advantage, front and slightly left of center. Studies show that teachers subconsciously favor students who sit in this area, often perceiving them as more focused, responsible, and academically serious. Even if you barely say a word, just being in that seat makes it more likely you'll be remembered as an engaged learner. It's the psychological effect of proximity and visibility. Teachers look forward more than sideways, and your presence becomes harder to ignore. This silent bias affects everything from participation marks to how strictly your work is graded. The closer and more centered you are, the more likely a teacher is to assume positive intent, even if your actual effort is average. It's a seating hack that changes how you're seen without changing anything else. You don't need to raise your hand constantly or become a front row superstar. Just pick your spot like a strategist.
Right.
Number 6, use the Rubric Hack to pre-write your grade. Reverse engineer your grade by turning the rubric into your blueprint. Most assignments are graded directly from the rubric. Most students glance at the rubric and then just start writing, hoping they hit the right points. But here's what A-grade students do. They build their entire response around the rubric itself, line by line, word for word. Teachers aren't grading on vibes. They're scanning for specific criteria, and the more clearly you reflect those points, the easier it is for them to give you full marks without second guessing. This approach works because most teachers are juggling dozens, sometimes hundreds of assignments. If your work makes it easy for them to check every box, you're more likely to get top scores without debate. Use the exact wording from the rubric in your headings, topic sentences, or summary lines. Make their job easier and your grade gets better. It's not cheating, it's alignment.
That's cheating, but cheating!
Number 7, fake participation with strategic gestures. Project engagement without saying a single word. Teachers often assess participation based on what they can see, not just what they hear. Participation grades often factor in visibility, not just spoken input. That means visible behaviors like nodding at the right moments, scribbling notes when a key point is made, or making brief eye contact during a class discussion can all register as signs of active involvement. These subtle signals tell your teacher, "I'm here, I'm listening, I'm learning," even if you never raise your hand. This strategy is especially effective in large classes or on days when you're not feeling talkative. From the teacher's point of view, you're present and tuned in. And that's often all it takes to get credit for participating. You don't need to be loud to be noticed. You just need to be visible in the right way.
I'm not faking anything.
Number 8, ask for feedback even when you already know what's wrong. This move isn't about fixing mistakes, it's about showing effort, which teachers deeply respect. When you approach a teacher and say, "Can you give me quick feedback on this?" they suddenly become invested in your work. Even if the comment is minor, applying that one suggestion and updating your assignment, even slightly, signals maturity and growth. If resubmission is allowed, you're now seen as someone who listens and improves. That perception alone can bump your grade. Teachers are often more generous with students who seem coachable, and sometimes just asking earns you a benefit of the doubt. Even if your revision is small, it reframes your work as evolving, not sloppy. It's a psychological shift from not quite there to making progress. And yes, that shift shows up on your report card.
It's the first day of school, and I want to start the year off right.
Number 9, use peer pressure positioning for group projects. Be the first to suggest deadlines or delegate tasks. Then, fade. The moment teams are formed, speak up first. Offer to divide tasks, set internal deadlines, or organize a shared document. When you establish yourself as the planner, everyone else subconsciously treats you as the leader. But here's the trick. After assigning roles or timelines, you can quietly scale back your own workload. People tend to follow the structure you've set without questioning who's doing how much. This tactic works because most group dynamics hinge on first impressions. If you're the one who appears responsible from the start, few will notice if you later step back. Your name stays tied to the organization, not the grunt work. Even teachers often assume the organizer role is the most involved and reward accordingly. Plus, no one wants to challenge the person who made things run smoothly at the beginning. As long as you meet your smaller portion of the work and respond to group messages, you're seen as essential.
Leadership.
Number 10, press record, even if no one's looking. In one-party consent areas like many U.S. states, you're legally allowed to record conversations you're part of without asking anyone, including teachers. That means you can quietly capture lectures, listen to it again if you've missed some points, record grading explanations, or even moments when instructions change mid-assignment without warning. Most students never do it, but the legal gray area works in your favor. The real power of this trick isn't about gotchas. It's insurance. If a teacher contradicts themselves or misgrades something, you'll have evidence. If you space out during a lecture, you can replay it. If they treat you unfairly, you can prove it. And the best part? They'll never know, unless you choose to say something. Schools rarely talk about this because it gives students quiet power. So go ahead, use the law to your advantage. Not to be sneaky, but to protect your own learning.
The cord.
These tricks might not be in the handbook, but they're hiding in plain sight, and they shift the balance of power just enough to put you back in control. School isn't always fair, but now you know how to play smarter. Use these tricks wisely, and you'll stay one step ahead without breaking a single rule.
I have everything I need to graduate.